Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the biggest stars and some of my favourite people. And we've got one for you today, the daughter of a legend who's a star in her own right. Carla Cooke, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Do you know, it must be wonderful to be you. I've been researching you online. I mean, and you've got one of those voices that is just given. You can't be trained it, can you?
Well, no, this came naturally, so I haven't taken any lessons or anything, so.
I want to talk to you firstly about your dad, because I was researching his life, and Sam Cooke, A, had an amazing talent, B, had amazing songs, and C, had somewhat of a tragic life, didn't he? I mean, it was not the perfect life in terms of longevity. He died in his early 30s, which is a tragic way to go, so young. In terms of his legacy now with you, how do you feel about him and what do you remember of him?
Well, my father passed away when I was about 6 months old, so I really didn't get a chance to have him in my life. I really think back on I never got a chance to be daddy's little girl, so that really remains with me still today. I wish that he hadn't died so early so I could have gotten the chance to be a special part of his life. But I believe he's still looking down from heaven, looking in on me, and I feel his presence each time I do a show.
And again, that gift he had with that voice, I don't know how to describe it. It was silky smooth, it was beautiful, mellifluous, it was perfect. You've kind of embodied that. And again, were you always singing? Did you always feel like this was what you were meant to do?
At a very young age, yes. Well, I grew up in the church pretty much like my father did, and I started out in the choir. So I acquired my first solo at about age 12, and I did Denise Williams' God is Amazing. They wanted me to start giving concerts of my own. I was shy back then, so I grabbed two of my friends, and we did concerts each year for Youth Month. So I pretty much knew that's what I wanted to do.
I've learned enough over the years speaking to people like you and on Broadway that if you have church in your life from an early age with those great, big, beautiful gospel songs, it's never going to do you any harm, and it gives you a soul that you can bring to a theatre and it fills it. I don't know what it is about gospel singers at heart that have some way of touching you that's different to other singers.
Yes, it really does. When you have God in your life, it seems like nothing is impossible, and that spiritual upbringing, it just brings a whole different element to your singing. You learn so much, and especially being in a choir, how to do harmonies, how to incorporate the different voices together. You learn all that. So I guess that was my teacher, being in the choir at church.
And again, when we look at your website and what you do, I mean, you honour your father by putting him in the title of most of your shows. Is that important? Because you want to be an artist in your own right, but of course to use that legacy is not going to do you any harm, is it?
I want to incorporate him in everything that I do. I don't mind it at all. I'm still my own person. I mean, I dedicate half of my show to him, and then I do my own music. I don't think it hurts. It helps.
Let's talk about him as a human being. I mean, it seemed, like you say, that he was singing all of his life. Tell us about what you know, because there's not a lot written. I think because he had such a short life, yet today his songs are still being played on the radio. There's not as many documentaries around him as maybe some of his peers that started at the same time, because they had maybe 30, 40, 50 years career longer.
Yeah, my father's life pretty much started out as a gospel artist, and when he felt that he had gone as far as he can go in gospel, as I tell in my shows, he started out in pop, and he thought that let me take a stab at this because I can't go any further. But, you know, he was afraid to do it at first, going into pop, because he didn't know how his fans would take it or how the gospel community would take it. But nevertheless, he went on and did it. I mean, even on the road in his gospel concerts, he got out, I guess after the shows, they told me he would get out his guitar because he could play the guitar too, and he would try out his songs on the ladies, so to see whether or not they would like them. So pretty much, I guess he was destined to do this.
And he seemed to live a happy showbiz life. He certainly made the most of his fame. In terms of that side of it, I know you have many siblings. Are you still all in touch, or have you all sort of gone your own ways? Because he was West Coast, wasn't he? We're now in the Midwest, and others are in New York and places.
Yeah, some are in California. I have a sister still in Chicago, two sisters in California. His son is in Philly, so I keep in touch with a few of my siblings, yes.
And then we look at the music itself. When you're recreating these, how tricky is it? Because, of course, when you're singing these songs, they're great songs, but there's all that emotion that goes with it. And, of course, losing your dad so young and never knowing him must be a heartache. Is it tough to get through those numbers?
You know what? It empowers me. I love doing his music, so it's not really tough. I just enjoy doing it, and I love all of his songs. I can't say which one is a favorite because they're all my favorites. So I really just enjoy being on stage and doing his songs. And after the concerts, when people come up to me and tell me how many memories it brought back to them, how much they love my dad, I like that too. So after each show, I make sure I go out and thank the audience for coming out because, like I said, they didn't have to come out to see me, and I just appreciate it so much and that they enjoy everything that I'm doing on stage.
Your voice is so beautiful, and we listened to those tracks online, and you've had several albums out as well. Again, your life now is on the road travelling the country. The downside of show business is you've got to go to the audience because they're not going to come and see you very often. Whether you're Celine, whether you or Rod Stewart are out, and you've got to go around. Is that a tough life? Because, I mean, it's schlepping through all these airports and getting on buses and trains and planes. It's a tough life. Do you enjoy that?
I do. I really enjoy it. It's like I think about my father and how they used to track the road. And me and my band, we track the road. And we like going on, it's like an adventure to us, going from state to state. And no matter how far we've been to Maine, I mean, we've driven somewhere everywhere, and we just love it. We love being on the road.
And what is it about that? Is that reaching people with music? Because, of course, the great thing when that curtain goes up is you never know whether they're going to like you. Do you kind of like that sort of frisson of, okay, tonight we've got to start again because last night was last night's show? That doesn't count for anything, does it?
Well, every show is a different show. And whether or not, I just love doing it. It just zooms me so much being on stage and being out there with the audience. And we pray before we go out, and we just do the show and hope everyone likes it. And thank God they do.
I know here in Detroit where we're talking now, this is a pretty moderate climate like it is in London, but I was just in Vegas and they really struggle with the voice because the humidity is so rough. Of course, it's the desert, it's so hot. Do you worry about that stuff? Do you become obsessive about keeping the voice well? Because without that, you're nothing.
I don't worry too much. I just do what I have to do to keep it moistured and to go out on stage. So, no, I don't worry.
See, that's a great blessing, isn't it? Because I spoke to a lot of classical people and they become obsessed. They don't speak 2 days a week. It seems like in this business you can sort of ruin your own life by that neurosis.
People tell me that you're not supposed to talk, you're not supposed to do anything, you have to sit down, and I don't know. I don't follow that regimen. I don't know.
How would sitting down help your voice? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. It's funny. People have all kind of things they want to tell you in order to save your voice for a show.
And then we look at the band around you. Is that important too? Because having the guys that can follow you, because I know you go off occasionally and do your own thing and you will feel the crowd, and if they're loving it, you carry on longer. You can't do that to track. I guess having guys that you trust is a wonderful privilege because not many people have that these days.
I'm blessed to have my band, the Agape band, and they are so wonderful. They're Christian boys. Their father is the pastor of their church. They're really, really dependable. I love them so much. So we all click together. We jail and we just go out there and perform. So we're having a great time.
And as we sit here, Carla, today, your daughter's just here. I mean, I guess this is part of the dream as well. Your legacy now becomes hers and hers becomes theirs, and this continues and continues. Is that the proudest thing now, that you've got your own thing going, you've got your own career, your own family? It must be a good place you're in.
It is. You know, I've raised 7 children. I've been married for 30 years this September. And I said, you know, it's time for Mama to do what she needs to do. You all are grown now, and now I can go out and do what I really enjoy to do. I have a daughter that sings now also. She just put out a gospel CD, so a Christian gospel CD. So, yeah, it's really
Life's interesting. I mean, you talk about that compromise when you decide, okay, I'm going to have a family, but the payoff of that is you've got to be there to raise the family. Was that tough at the moment you couldn't sing, or were you in church every Sunday still belting these numbers out?
I was in church. They were in church. I was in the choir. They came all the time. She could tell you they were in the choir. So I pretty much did my singing there and gave concerts every year. So.
What was it like the first time you were able to play your dad's records and explain what they were and what relation they were to your children? That must have been very special.
Surreal. It's really, I think it's still surreal to them today that who my father is and how big of an artist he is still yet today. And it's really amazing that still today his music still resonates, you know, among young and old people today. So it's really, truly been a journey.
And again, he's in that legends category. I used to work for a station called Capital Gold in London, a national network of these classic hits, as it was called. And I don't think there was a show where Sam Cooke wasn't featured somewhere. That's remarkable, isn't it? When you make that impact. This is the stupidest question I'll ask, but have you worked out what he did, what that voice was, what his image was that made us still care some 50 years on?
You know, a lot of different singers, they had to dance and put on the showmanship while they were on stage. And I've looked at a lot of videos of my father. He just stood there. Just stood there with that little amazing tenor voice of his, and he didn't have to dance around or anything. He just moved you with his voice. I mean, he could just stand there and sing and you fall in love with him.
And again, it's that soul, isn't it, that I was talking about earlier. You either got that or you haven't. And then I guess YouTube is a great friend of yours in a sense that these clips from time to time will keep coming up that you've never seen. It must be a wonderful time to be a star or a legend, because this stuff that was lost for so many years is now being refound. Do you still find clips today that you haven't seen before and new memories?
I do find new memories, and every day, like you said, I'm on Facebook and people just put up different pictures. I'm like, oh, I didn't see that picture before, so it's really nice to see things like that come about.
I suppose asking which is your favourite to sing is like asking which is your favourite child, and we know what you're going to say because one of them's here, but is there one that's particularly special of your dad's?
A Change Is Gonna Come. Yes, that would probably be my most special song. Of course, I like all of them, but
you see, but that, I mean, almost had a double meaning, that song, didn't it, in a way? Of course, a change is always going to come, whether that's today or tomorrow, but it was about a time where black people and the way they were treated was unbelievable. And then we fast forward to 2017, and isn't it interesting politically how this song has new relevance in a new age? These songs are timeless.
Yes, it is. I mean, they just used the song in a new Nike commercial. I don't know how many people caught that from the Super Bowl. They used it then. They used it in the presidential election with President Barack Obama. They keep using it. I mean, it's never gonna fade. I think the song will last forever because it always represents something in the time.
And one of hope, I guess, isn't it? The ultimate message from that is, okay, this might not be great now, but there's always going to be faith and hope.
Yes.
And I guess that really is the founding principles of your father, wasn't it?
It really is. It really is. His songwriting was all about love. It was a message of love, and it still continues to be that message today. So.
Well, I'm so proud that you're continuing his legacy with these shows that not only pay tribute to him, but celebrate you as well. That's the perfect balance, isn't it, really? You're using that heritage to celebrate his name, and then at the same time showing the audience what you can do, which is wonderful. Congratulations. Carla Cooke is on tour. Give us your website and Facebook and where people can contact you.
Well, my website is carlacooke.com. Remember, guys, that's with an E, because there is another Carla Cooke out there, so you got to differentiate me from her. Put the E on there. My Facebook is the Carla Cooke.
Carla Cooke with an E, and find her there at carlacooke.com. Really lovely to meet you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.